Good evening, second years. Already we have learning, that is teaching learning process, and what is that philosophy, and what are all the things it is included in that philosophy, and what are all the things of principles and the functions of teaching learning. So now we are going to see about the nature of learning. Okay, so in that meaning, importance of learning, definition and characteristics of learning, and nature of learning. Okay, so this one, now elements of learning is motivation, reinforcement, retention and transference. Okay, so meaning of education point of view is the process of modification of behavior is termed as learning. Learning is what? Is a process of modification of behavior is termed as learning. And the psychological point of view, already you have studied in your first year, that is psychology. Learning implies making the most appropriate response to stimuli. Okay, so here some of the definitions they have given regarding the learning. Learning is not acquiring knowledge or skill by mechanical repetitions, that is Skinner they said. And learning is a process by which the organism in satisfying its motivation, adaptation and adjustment to behavior in order to overcome the abstracts. Okay, learning is shown by the change of behavior in as a result of experience. Okay, so learning is shown by a change in behavior as a result of experience, that is who said means Cronbach. Okay, so learning is a modification of both behavior and the way of perceiving. Okay, learning is the name given to a small number of demonstrable relationship between environmental factors and the behavior. Understood? Okay, next one is nature of learning. Okay, learning occupies a very important place in our life. Okay, learning is a process of change which enables the organism itself to the environment. It is therefore a process of development and growth, and it is characterized by flexibility because of the individual has to adapt itself constantly to circumstances of the environment. And once again, learning is the process of change which enables an organism itself to the environment. It is therefore a process of development and growth, and it is characterized by flexibility because the individual has to adapt itself constantly to the circumstances of the environment. Okay, learning is a process is change of behavior. Learning produces change in behavior. Learning is often defined as a modification of behavior. Learning involves problem solving. It helps to understand and discover the relation between the different content in situation. Learning is an automatic process. It takes place when the child becomes active. Okay, once again, learning produces change in behavior. Learning is often defined as a modification of behavior. Learning involves problem solving. It helps to understand the discover relations between different content in situations. Learning is an automatic process. It takes place when the child becomes active. Okay, importance of learning. Learning creates motivation to learn or gain something. It develops our knowledge. It creates our curiosity to know something. It creates the ability to the sense of discrimination, ability to use symbols. Learning helps to solve any problem in one's life. Importance of learning is learning creates motivation to learn or gain something. It develops our knowledge. It creates our curiosity to know something. It creates the ability to the sense of discrimination, ability to use symbols. Learning helps to solve any problems in one's life. Okay, then characteristics of learning. Some of the educationists like learning, those who did some theories. So educational psychology, that is Markov of his book. Okay, W.R. Markov. So what he has said regarding the learning, has given the detail of the characteristics of learning process. Learning is a continuous change in behavior. It is a lifelong process. Learning is physically, mentally and cognitively attached with the whole of the person. Learning brings changes in the discipline of behavior. Okay, the characteristics of learning, W.R. Macaw in his book Educational Psychology, what he said regarding the learning, he has given the detail of the characteristics of learning process are: learning is a continuous change in behavior. It is a lifelong process. Learning is physically, mentally and cognitively attached with the whole of a person. Learning brings changes in the discipline of behavior. Okay, so principles of learning is there. Already I have taught this one: readiness, exercise, effect, primary, recency, intensity, requirement and freedom. Okay, so each one we have to explain. So readiness is nothing, that is, readiness implies the degrees of concentration and eagerness. How much they are having the eagerness and concentration on particular topic. Some of the people, they are very interested in a book. Some of the people very interested in practical. Some of the people very interested in for missions. Some of the people, they are interested in human life. Okay, so it depends upon the interest of the people, how the students are getting the eagerness and concentration on the particular topic. Individuals learn best when they are physically, mentally and emotionally ready to learn, and do not learn it, they see no reason for learning. Okay, so that is, readiness is depends upon their interest. Then next one is exercise. The exercise is based on the emotional reactions of the student. It has direct relationship to motivation. Okay, it's a direct relationship to the motivation. Okay, then effect is based in the emotional reaction of the student. It has direct relationship to motivation. Then primacy. The primacy is often creates the strong, almost unshakable impression. Things learned first create a strong impression, means that is difficult to erase. So what if we are telling something, so somebody have said something related to, oh, this one is like this, it is a very toughest subject, like that. If they are having some idea related to your topic, this one only we can take CET, okay, communication and educational technology. So in that educational technology, they are telling that is getting mark is very tough. So you know that so many members, they have informed you. But that mentality, when you are having, that is a strong impression related to that particular topic. So what happens, even if you are studying and if you are having interest also, you will think that whatever we are writing, we won't get the marks. It means that is difficult to erase. This means that what is taught must be right the first time. Recency, the principle of recency states that things most recently learners are best remembered. Conversely, the further a student is removed time-wise from new fact or understanding, the more difficult it is to remember. Intensity is, the principle of intensity implies that the student will learn the real thing than from a substitute. For example, a student can get more understanding and appreciation of a movie by watching it than by reading the script. Understood? That is intensity. Requirements are, the law of requirements state that we must have something to obtain or do something. That is freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of action, freedom of bare results of action. Okay. Then here we have given some of the example, that is a freedom. Okay, so freedom is, principle of freedom states that things freely are best learned. Okay, since learning is an active process, student must have freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of action, freedom of bear the result of action. These are the three great freedoms that constitute personal responsibility. Okay, if no freedom is granted, students may have little interest in learning. Understood? So, how much they are having the interest? So, they have to make the students to get the motivation and they have to learn themselves. Understood? Okay, then next one is, okay, these are all the things we are calling as a nature of learning. Understood? Okay, next is theories of learning. Okay, theories of learning is what and all is coming under that. Learning theories, behavioral theories, and cognitive theories, and constructive theories, and these are all the things will come under the learning of theories. Okay, so first one is learning theories means what? Okay, so learning, you know that learning is in different way, like a theory, practical, demonstration, simulation, and methods of teaching, seminars, workshop, and so many things are through that we are learning. In that involved persons are the teachers and the learners. Okay, so it is developing the cognitive, the students' knowledge will be getting interest and strategies and thinkful. It's a process, and the learners are getting good environment, and these are all the things are coming. So, learning is a change, that modification of behavior, the acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, and attitude. There are many three main perspectives of learning theories, that is behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. Okay, so behavioral theory, first one we are seeing about the behavioral theory. So, behavioral theory is Dr. John Watson. That is already you know that Watson book, they are medical surgical, they have taken learners viewed as a passive. Okay, learning is a mechanical process of associating the stimulus with response, also known as connectivism theory and block box theory. Okay, individuals learn to behave through conditioning. Okay, two types of conditioning, that is a classical without reinforcement, operant with a reinforcement. Okay, here some of the pictures they have given. Classical conditioning, in which when the unconditioned stimulus and the response is manipulated with the conditioned stimulus to create the conditioned response. Okay, in that they have given a stage 1, stage 2, and the stage 3. Okay, here some of the thing they have given an example, that is a unconditional stimulus. When the dog is, we are giving the meat, so there is a no restrictions, there is a nothing is there, so the dog will go and eat whenever the dog is getting hungry. So next one is unconditional stimulus. Unconditional stimulus in the sense of what? It is an unconditional response also. In that unconditional response, food is there. When we are giving the bell, so the dog, they come to know that okay, when the bell is ringing, that is the food is ready. So automatically the dog will go and have the food. Okay, in that stage 3, unconditional stimulus and unconditional response. There is a bell, when we are ringing, automatically the dog's saliva will come out, because already they know, the dog know that when they are ringing the bell, the food is ready. So food is delicious, depends upon that the dog will get the saliva. Same thing here, without food, when we are doing this one bell, so automatically the saliva will come out. Okay, but food is not ready means the dog will go for the conditioned response. Okay, so operant conditioning, that is Skinner, what he said it is, that is the operant conditioning is a controlled response with a reward punishment system according to the behavior. The learner needs reinforcement to keep interest. Positive as well negative reinforcement increase the repetition of the behavior. Punishment decreases the chances of repetitions. Clear? So when the teachers are scolding, when the teachers are giving punishment, So why they are giving punishment? It is reducing the repetition of activities and reduce the repetition of mistakes. Okay, operant conditioning is a controlled response with a reward punishment system according to the behavior. If the behavior is not good, the teachers will scold. So automatically the behavior to be changed. The learner needs reinforcement. Reinforcement, you know that we are giving the force. So again and again when we are scolding and when we are giving a punishment. So what happened? The students, they won't repeat the unnecessary activities. Okay, so reinforcement to keep the interest. Then positive as well as negative reinforcement increases the repetition of the behavior. So whether we are giving a positive or whether we are giving a negative reinforcement, so it will increase the repetition of the behavior. Okay, punishment decreases the chances of repetition. So when we are giving a punishment, so automatically the repetition will be decrease. Okay, so next one is educational implication, formation of good behavior, development of concept and learning symbols, use of techniques of reinforcement and punishment, daily routine and activities, classroom management and route learning. So what are the things? It is a formation of good behavior. We have to make the students, when the first years, when you people are coming, how you people are behaving? No miss, don't know. You people don't know how to ask the excuse also when you are entering the staff room. So when we are teaching, okay, so when we are teaching and the formation of good behavior you will develop. Then developing the concept of learning symbols. So learning symbols, when we are taking the classes regarding the nursing, what are all the medical terms we are using, what are all the things we are using, how to use, and what are all the symbols we are using, when we are giving, these are all the things you might be learning. So using the techniques of reinforcement and punishment. So when we are telling that is, you should not repeat some activities, not only for the activities, for the studying. So previous lessons you are studying and coming, and when we are taking the classes, when we are asking questions, if we are not giving, we are making you to stand for long time, or otherwise what we are doing, we are giving the punishment of what? For kneel down, or otherwise making you to stand on the bench. So these are all the punishment when we are giving. You are learning the techniques. So when we are getting such a feeling of shy, so leads to what happen? You are having that interest to learn new things. Okay, daily routines and activities. What all you should be engaged yourself. When we are sitting free, so it is already one proverb also is there. Okay, so what else? No, the empty mind or free mind, it's a place of Satan or somewhat. Okay, so that is for daily routines and activities, we should be engaged with our activities. And classroom management, the classroom management, 9:30 class means 9:30 you should be present. So you cannot come at 10 o'clock, 10:15. If you are coming, then college or the class, you will lose the attendance. Then that is a classroom management. And the next one is a role learning. That is what is your learning process, why you came, what you came, why, what purpose you are learning. So if you know that activities why we are learning, so automatically your educational implications will be applied. Clear? Understood? Next one is a cognitive theory. It is a cognitive theory is for not, it's a for, we can tell like a logical. Okay, cognitive theory is nothing, that is a logical. So when we are doing this one, so what is our logical we have to use and we can do according to that. Okay, so many members, they don't know the cognitive development only. So when we are telling that is a like a same thing they will follow and they will get hit from some other and they will come back. Okay, it is a proponents, that is response to black box theory. That is we are calling as a response to a black box theory, and learning viewed as a active participants. The active participants only they can view the things. Okay, learning is a process of connecting symbols in a meaningful and memorable way. Okay, so easy and memorable, and symbols when we are using, and what else we are using, like a memorable, easy to remember. We are using so many things now, like for cranial nerves and all, we have used, one of our trained teacher asked for very good vadai and alva. Okay, same thing like for memorable, meaningful, and for symbols when we are using, it is easy to understand, and it focuses on the internal mental process and how they change and how they affect the external behavioral changes. Okay, so when we are teaching, so it should go to their mind, it should go to their mind, internal mind processes. So when how it is entering into the mental processes, so it will, we can affect their external changes in the behavior. Okay, understood. So if it is going internal, okay, it is a internal mental process. Okay, so when we are teaching some of the classes, it should be go to their mind. Okay, what they have, what they taught, what they, even for a example, we can tell bed making. So bed making we are doing, that is a mitten corner, and so many things we are doing. So mental processes, it is automatically, if they are having that more interest, automatically they will learn. Okay, so how we can see that it changes, next time they should do what we taught, according to that they should not do any mistake. So if they are doing mistake, means it is not going internal mental processes. Okay, so how we can see the changes, like not only for the demonstration classes, for behavioral changes, and how you people are acting in front of me, in front of teachers, in front of our chairman, and how you people are behaving. Okay, so that is, it is a internal mental processes, how they change, we can see the changes, it is affecting the external, and we can see the behavioral changes. Okay, it should go, that is we are calling as a reinforcement. If they are one or two times, if we are telling, if the students are not listening, or if the students are not behaving properly, so immediately we can give the punishment and we can make them to change. Okay, it is a mental process. Here they have given some of the picture, that is input, what we are taking, what we are teaching, that is our sensory, our brain will be getting the sensory register, so it will be register themselves. And next one is how they are showing the interest and the attention. So attention, we can see whether it is a short term or whether it is a long term. Then they will see that maintenance of rehearsal, and after that it will be come to their long term memory, that is we should not repeat the action. Okay, or otherwise what they are hearing, it is a elaborative rehearsal or long term memory. Okay, once again I will tell you, that is a mental processes. When we are taking classes, it's a input, and the sensory register is their brain, how they are showing the interest on particular topic, and the third one is how much they are showing the attention. Okay, attention or concentration, that is we can tell, and in that short term how they are showing, how they are reacting. Okay, for example we can tell that portions only. So when we are taking the classes, how much they are listening, how much they are having that concentration, so leads to what happened when they are writing the test paper, they will show that when how much they have showed the interest, that much they will get the marks. If they are not interested and they didn't pay the attention to the classes, so what happened when we are keeping the test, they cannot perform well. Okay, so this is we can tell as a one example. Understood. The next one is a cognitive Gestalt theory. Okay, so Gestalt was a holistic approach. According to the Gestalt psychologist, I don't think so, I have to explain. But what we should do, it is already you have studied in your first year psychology learning. Okay, so the whole is more than the sum of its parts. Okay, I'm not explaining that part. Okay, then these are the 4 laws of organization and grouping, that is similarity, continuation, closure, and the proximity. Okay, so field theory. Next one is a field theory, that is a Kurt Lewin. Okay, Kurt Lewin, he said, like a learning is a acquisition and change in cognitive structure and motivation. Okay, learning is a acquisition and change in cognitive structure and motivation. Okay, components of the theory is a life space, valency, barrier and motivation. Life space in the sense how much they are having the life space, like I don't know how to explain that. Valency, barrier and motivation, how much they are having interest, mainly it is coming under the interest only. Okay, so next one is educational implications, emphasize on situation as a whole, problem solving, halt to the process of unintelligent memorization, understanding of ideas and concept, productive thinking, rote learning. Rote means what? I don't know here. Rote, R-O-T-E. Okay, I will find out and tell you. Okay, organization of curriculum and learning activities, goal-oriented learning, instructional design should be based on the laws of organization. Okay, then a constructivist theory, proponents is Pigeons, Brenner and Vygotsky. Okay, learning viewed as active participants, constructivism views learning can be constructed through the personal experience and interactions with the environment. Two types of constructivism, that is a social constructivism and cognitive constructivism. So, social constructivism, it is a, what they have given, it is a proximal development as the area where the most sensitive instructions or guidance should be given, allowing the child to develop skills they will then use on their own, developing higher mental function. Okay, then cognitive constructivism, that is stages of cognitive development, concrete, operational, formal, operational. You know that you have studied in your psychology, sensory motor. Okay, then constructive be operational and formal operational. Even though that one you will study in your pediatric. Okay, so process that enable that transition from one stage to another, that is assimilation, accommodation and the equilibration. Okay, so educational implications are use of manipulative, interactive and physical materials, search out students' understanding and prior experiences, encourage communication, encourage student critical thinking and inequity, then put students in situations that might challenge, then provide enough time for students to construct their own meaning. Okay, so here we have given some conclusion. This one I will take photos and I will send you. You can learn. Understood? Understood? Okay, ma. Okay. Hope so you are understanding the nature of learning and the characteristics of learning and the theories of learning. So, theories of learning, characteristics I didn't take. Okay, characteristics I will take you later. The nature of learning and the theories of learning. Okay, in that theories of learning, you know that here some of the books they have given classical, philosophical, field, association and structure. Okay, so here some of the people they have given in that this is a psychological and this is for what I am taking is CET. Okay, in that structure theory they have given structure, readiness, intuitions, motivations. Okay, so these are all the theory they have given according to the PV book. Okay, clear? So, I hope so you have understood the nature of learning and the theories of learning. Okay, next class, characteristics of learning I have sent already, I sent to the notes, but tomorrow I will take you the characteristics of learning. The characteristics of learning what I sent in the notes, that is in the star, one star I sent. In that star they have mentioned here it is a principles of teaching learning activities, not principles of teaching learning activities, it is a characteristics of teaching learning activities. Okay, is the teaching learning activities, it is a unitary, active, proposive, transferable and creative. Okay, so each one I will explain you later. Okay, take care, bye, good night.